Welcome into this weekend's Soccer Best Bets show. Now, while many leagues are on the festive season break, England and Italy do roll on through the holidays. So let's make some top picks from the EPL and Serie A across Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I've got 3 parlays this weekend covering 7 different games. Let's get into them. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, or even become a member for more bonus picks. Starting on Saturday, let's go to 2 games in Italy. It's Parma and Monza starting it off. Parma's games are among the highest scoring games, 3.3 goals per game. They're 12-5 to the over 2.5 total, 15-2 to simply over 1.5. Monza's games, much lower scoring, 2.2 goals per game. They're more of an under team, naturally, so 10-7 to under 2.5 totals. Lower that to just 1.5, and they do at least usually see 2 or more goals in their games, going 13-4 to the over. Parma have been leaking goals, losing 5-0, 3-2, and 3-1 in recent games. They also have just 3 wins all season long. Sometimes they do spring an upset. They have wins over Lazio and AC Milan, but they've conceded a goal now in 17 of 18 overall matches. Monza's in even worse form. They're the league's worst team right now. They've lost 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, and 4-0 in recent games. They're winless in 10 in all competitions and have kept just 3 clean sheets across all 21 games this season. There is some question, though, to how Monza lines up here, as they just sacked coach Alessandro Nesta and brought in Salvatore Bocchetti. They likely will, you would expect some sort of response, maybe that new coach bump in his first game. Though Bocchetti's coaching resume, rather light, having only been in charge of 6 games in his career, all losses with Verona back in 2022 as an interim manager. One way or another, I'm going to expect at least 2 goals here, probably more, maybe both teams to score. Let's go over 1.5 for leg 1 and pair it up with Lazio and Atalanta. With many leagues on the break, this could be one of the biggest games in Europe between 4th place Lazio, 1st place Atalanta. Atalanta won 3-2 this weekend. They have just lost 1 game in 18 across all competitions, that being to Real Madrid in the Champions League. They've scored a goal in 13 straight games as well. Lazio responded to a 6-0 thumping by Inter to win 2-1 away to Lecce last weekend. They've only lost 3 of 19. They're 15-1-3 in that time. They've scored in 12 of 14 recent games. With 42 goals scored, Ladea are the league's highest scorers, tied alongside with Inter, while with 32, Lazio have scored the 3rd most. They're also 1st and 3rd, respectively, in XG, 1st and 4th in shots on target. When it comes to goals per game in their matches, Atalanta's average tied for the most at 3.6. Lazio's tied for the 4th most, 3.3. Atalanta 12-5 to over 2.5, 16-1 to over 1.5. Lazio 14-3 to over 2.5, and also to over 1.5. 2 of Serie A's top 5 scorers were going to be involved in this game. However, Atalanta's Lopetegui tied in the scoring charts with 12. Will miss out with injury. However, Castellanos for Lazio, 5th with 7 goals, should be in the lineup. Last year, both teams won at home, with Lazio winning 3-2 in Rome, Atalanta 3-1 in Bergamo. I'd expect goals here from both. It looks like it should be a good game. Atalanta are flying, but they did just allow 2 goals to Empoli last weekend, and this one will be back on the road here. Let's go both teams to score between Lazio and Atalanta, paired with just over 1.5 goals between Parma and Monza, to come in at plus 111 odds in parlay number 1 on Saturday. Now let's go in to Sunday. Over to England, it's Fulham and Bournemouth. 2 teams in good form here meet with 8th Fulham hosting 6th Bournemouth. Fulham had a last-minute win over Chelsea on Boxing Day 2-1. They've now not lost in 6 games. They have 1 loss in 10 and have scored in 18 of 19 in all but 2 games in all competitions this season, with 1 being in week 1. The both teams to score bet has gone 6-1 in their last 7 as well. The Cherries could only draw 0-0 to Palace on Boxing Day, but they are also undefeated in 6 games, with only 2 losses in 11 as well. They too usually score, doing so in 10 straight prior to that last 0-0. They will be out without leading scorer Justin Kluivert, who is suspended, but they should still have enough to get on the score sheet here with Semenyo and Evan Nilsson still in the lineup. Last year, when they met, both teams won at home, 3-2 for Fulham, 3-0 for Bournemouth. There's been 3 or more goals in 4 straight meetings. The both teams' score has gone 5-1, and a road team hasn't won any of those last 6, not since 2019. I'm going to pick goals here from both, with 2 teams playing in good form here. Let's take a similar strategy with Tottenham and Wolves. Spurs are the higher-ranked team here, being 11th, compared to Wolves 17th, but it's Wolves in the slightly better form right now. Tottenham lost 1-0 away to Forest on Boxing Day. They got routed 6-3 in the match prior against Liverpool. It's now only 2 wins and 9 across all competitions, and while they usually score, being the league's 2nd highest scorers, it's only 2 clean sheets for them in their past 15, so defense always a problem. Another defender out for Tottenham with Jid Spence. He saw red last game. It's another center back out for Spurs, who were already out, Mickey van der Ven, Christian Romero, possibly Radu Dragusin, who got hurt last game as well. So all of the top 4 center backs plus starting keeper Guillermo Vicario could all miss out in this game. Not good for a defense that already struggles. Wolves were spiraling, but sacked Gary O'Neill. New coach Vitor Pereira has overseen 3-0 and 2-0 wins over Leicester and Man U, albeit Man U played most of Boxing Day down a man taking a red. As poor as Wolves have been, they usually score. They've now scored in 18 of 20 overall matches this season, with one of those games where they did not, being all the way back in week 1 of the season. Both teams to score bets have gone 14-6 in all of their games. Go back to Spurs here for a moment, and their recent home games, where they'll be in this game, have seen 9, 7, and 7 goals. The both teams to score in Spurs home games has gone 8-0. Both teams to score over 2.5 has even gone 7-1. You would expect goals from both here, with Wolves seeing a little bit of an uptick in form. Spurs always capable of scoring and conceding. So we'll do 2 both teams to score games together here. Tottenham and Wolves, both teams to score, with Fulham and Bournemouth, both teams to score, coming in at plus 125 odds over at Caesars. One more parlay here. We'll combine 2 different leagues, 2 different days. Sunday in Serie A, Monday in the EPL. Napoli and Venezia will play on Sunday. This looks too easy, you'd think. Second place Napoli hosting 19th place Venezia. Napoli has only lost 3 times this season, while Venezia has only won 3 times themselves. One of those Venezia wins, though, did come last game, beating Cagliari 2-1 at home. They're actually undefeated in 3 games now, drawing 2-2 and 2-2 with Juve and Como before that. All 3 Venezia wins have come at home. They own the worst road mark, though, at 0-3-6, being outscored 19-7. Napoli owns the second best mark in goals allowed and 4th best in XGA. They've allowed a joint fewest shots on target along with Juve. So this doesn't look like a good spot for that road form to improve for Venezia. At home, Napoli 6-2. They've outscored opponents 12-6. Now that's an equal amount of home wins for what they had all of last season as well. Napoli is off 2-1 and 3-1 wins. And since an away loss to Verona way back in August, they've only dropped points 5 times, being 13-2-3 in all competitions. Now those drop points have come in draws with Juve and Inter, losses to Atalanta, Lazio twice, all top teams, of which Venezia certainly is not. So let's ask for a Napoli to win on Sunday, and then we will roll into Monday, Ipswich and Chelsea. Ipswich have yet to play as of this recording, playing away to Arsenal on Thursday. This also means they'll have less rest, with Chelsea having played on Wednesday. So it's 19th Ipswich hosting 2nd Chelsea. Blues' long run of 12 games undefeated ended, losing in the final moments of Boxing Day 2-1 to Fulham, with a 0-0 draw to Everton. Their games prior to that, some of their high-flying offense is now dried up. It's still just 5 losses, though, and 28 across all matches this season, and only 3 times have they failed to score. Prior to those last 2 games, that had been 8 straight, where they outscored opponents 26-8. Meanwhile, for Ipswich, they actually are they're a better road team than home team. They have 12 points, only 4 have come at home, and they're the only team yet to win on their home ground so far this season. They've also only scored 6 goals in those 9 home games. That's the lowest mark in the EPL. Their games, 3 games back, they beat Wolves 2-1, then lost 4-0 to Newcastle, and then the Arsenal game. More squad depth, more rest, home field, looking to bounce back after 2 games without a win. Let's pick Chelsea to win. And one more game in this parlay to wrap it up is Aston Villa and Brighton. Brighton will have less rest here, having played on Thursday versus Brentford, a game not completed as of this recording. Prior to that Brentford game, they were winless in 5 and had conceded in 10 straight. They usually score, with the both team to score bets being 10-0 and 14-1 of late. Now, Villa will be more rested here, having played on Wednesday, but they suffered a heavy defeat, 3-0, losing to Newcastle before that. They've lost 2 of 3, but they have won 4 of 6, but then they only have 4 wins in their last 14. Now, at home, Villa is 5-3-1. They've outscored their opponents 15-10 in the EPL as well. If we look at all different competitions, they only have 2 home losses in 13 across all games this season, and they've only failed to score twice as well. Let's ask for a simple Villa just to score Villa over 0.5 goals to round out this parlay. Get us just over plus money. So if we go Aston Villa to score, Chelsea to win, Napoli to win, coming in at plus 107 over at Caesars. And you can check out Caesars and all kinds of other sports books with great new customer promos by going to the link in the comments, signupexpert.com/shredthespread. That will wrap up all of my EPL Serie A best bets for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Let me know what you're betting, where you're watching from, and you can check out all the picks in a graphic at the end of this video.